The thing about living with HIV is that it's different to other health conditions, because whether you were born with it or you got it another way, you can't really talk about it. When I first found out, I didn't want anyone knowing because I didn't accept it myself, so I didn't really expect anyone else to accept it. I was afraid that people were going to judge me and they wouldn't want to be my friend anymore, and they wouldn't like hanging around with me and I'd be by myself.
I have some close friends, but I'm not sure whether I'm ready yet to tell them, because something like that could change friendship, like whether or not they'd be your friend after this. So it's either them stop being my friend or them then after telling everyone else, and then everyone will be looking at me in a different way.
Sometimes you hear stuff that makes you think it's not safe to tell anyone. You hear people make AIDS jokes and how they wouldn't go anywhere near someone with it. Usually it's because they don't know the facts, and you can't correct them and tell them about HIV, because if you did, they might wonder why you know.
One time I was with a couple of guys and they were talking about it, and one of them shocked me when he was like, there is no medication. If you have HIV, you will die in 5 years. I think like he didn't even know anything about it.
When I was in year 10, my own science teacher, who was giving us a sex education lesson, she told the whole class that you could catch HIV by kissing someone. That day, obviously, a whole class of people left not knowing the right facts, and this is someone that's meant to be in a position where they're meant to pass on the correct information.
I think I even heard something really stupid once. By sharing a hat, because your hair and their hair's together, you'll get it. I was actually laughing when I heard that, because it just shows how many people don't know, and they talk like a lot of crap. It can make you feel like one person on the outside and another on the inside, like you're living two lives. The hardest thing is sometimes you have to keep secrets from friends and family, brothers and sisters. My brother didn't know until after I found out. My granny knows and two of my aunties know, and that's it. Like none of the and I have a big family, and none of the rest of them know.
It's hard sometimes when I'm feeling ill because of the medication or something like that. I can't tell them why. People that are close to me, like my younger brother and sister that don't know, when they do know, they're going to be affected by it, not infected by it. So it needs to be when the time's right, not just for my own personal, wanting to talk about it randomly one day. It's got to be when they're mature enough to handle it as well.
Well, I had a brother who was also positive, but he died when I was 10 and he was 12. And he died before we were able to talk about his status and my status, because we didn't know each other were positive. We didn't know either of us was positive at that time. But I can understand in terms of when people say they can't tell brothers and sisters, but I think you have to wait until they're ready as well, because I know it must be difficult for someone to not be able to tell their own brothers and sisters, but I think once especially if they're younger and they're kind of a bit more ready, then you can tell them later on. But I think it's something it's like a process, just the way you were told. It was a process when you were told, and there was some thinking that went into it before. I think it's the same process with siblings and stuff. If you're wondering why I haven't told you before, it's because I was scared of the reaction that I would get.
If I was going to tell you, I'd have to trust you a lot.
I could be fearless but still be concerned about how they respond. They might say, oh yeah, it's all right, but really they are thinking the opposite.
Say if you've come onto this website now and you've just been told, it's a big thing that you've just been told this, because it's not something that's a one-night decision. Someone's probably put a lot of thought into telling you.
All the experiences that we went through, if we were to replay them, that if I told you and we were to do that again, that we would have the exact same time. Like, you wouldn't change, it would be the same.
All I want you to do is listen and keep it to yourself, and just don't treat me any differently. If I do tell you, I'd really like you to just kind of be there for me in terms of just listening. Just nothing changes. I'm still me.